Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's me, Mitch. And today, I want to go over my favorite way to cook a steak. I've talked about this many times before, but you just can't see that's enough. And for so many new people that I have here on the channel, I thought it would be worthwhile giving you this tip. And this involves a process called sous vide. Now, sous vide means in a vacuum, in a water bath, at a tightly controlled temperature. And what I've done so far is I've sous vide this particular steak for about 2.5 hours, about 128 degrees. And what that does is that cooks the entire steak through to 128 degrees and no more. You can leave it in the sous vide bath for hours. It will not get overdone. It gets up to that temperature, which is the perfect temperature for medium rare. And when you take it out of the sous vide bath, and I sous vide them in these silicone bags so you don't get those forever chemicals coming off the plastic when it heats up. It's perfectly safe. And I'm going to walk you through how I finish this. I have many videos about sous vide. There's links in the description to my page on my website that has links to all the tools that I use from Amazon, and feel free to go check that out if you're interested in getting all these things for yourself. First thing I'm going to do here is I've got this debaillé carbon steel pan. This thing is seasoned beautifully and very low maintenance, very heavy, conducts heat like nobody's business. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to sear this on high heat in butter. And all you want to do at this point is put a nice sear on the steak, a little crusty, and get it to the point. You don't want to do it too long because you don't want to overcook the inside of the steak. So we'll put some butter, let that pan get nice and hot. I want that pan to be 450 degrees or more before I put the steak in it. Now, when you sear a steak, what you want to do is you want to get it as dry as you can. So I take like double thick paper towels. I pull the steak out of the bag that it was sous vide. It doesn't look real appetizing because it's thoroughly cooked through, but this is a beautiful ribeye here. And what you want to do with this, it's already been salted. This thing, I left it overnight open in the refrigerator, dry brining with salt on both sides. So it's got plenty of salt, and that salt is absorbed into the meat. I want to make it good and dry. I'll make it good and dry, and that's what I have done here. So that, God, that's a gorgeous steak. Then I'm going to take this little digital thermometer thing that I have here, and I'm going to check the heat of the pan. Right now it's 370 degrees. I'm going to let it get a little hotter. Spread the butter around. I do have to run the exhaust fan for this, so I will apologize for the noise. And I'm going to sear all the edges of the steak too first. So I'm going to take the steak and I'm going to stick it in this pan while it continues to get hotter. And for maybe 10-20 seconds on each side, I'm going to sear it off. That helps make that fat cap really edible because it really does get a lot softer. by using the sous vide method. Now, I cook steaks a lot of other ways. I sear them in this pan first, then put them in a 400-degree oven with a Bluetooth thermometer in it to make sure the internal temperature is just right. I just sometimes cook a steak in the air fryer, which does a good job, but nothing compares to this method. And if you've got an expensive piece of meat and you want to maximize your enjoyment of that, this is the way to do it. And there's nothing like cooking in these carbon steel pans. They're, in my estimation, a lot better than the cast iron pans. They're a lot easier to clean, that's for sure. They're very heavy and heat up very evenly, but they're very smooth on the bottom too. And once they're seasoned, stuff doesn't stick to them. So we'll do the outside first. Make sure I let that butter slosh around in there. And then we'll put it in the pan and let it sear for about a minute, minute and a half per side. And make sure it's down flat on the bottom of the pan. And this is all it takes. Now, this is so fast and easy, it's unbelievable, because you really turn the sous vide thing on, put the steak in there, and let it come up to temperature in the water bath. And that's no effort whatsoever. While this is searing, I'll get the sous vide thing back out. I put it away, and I leave the water in it. This is the sous vide. This is the sous vide thing. And this is the Nova one. And this is got a rack in there. You just put it down in there, plug it in, set the temperature and time, and away you go. I change the water in this about once a week because the water doesn't touch the food. And there's no reason why you have to dump out all that water every time. So about once a week I'll dump it out and put some fresh water in it. Right now, I'm at 550 degrees, which is perfect. So we're gonna flip this bad boy over and look at that sear. Just look at that. And that's it. We'll leave it on the other side for about that long. And then we'll cut into it, see what it looks like. Looking good. Make sure you got a good exhaust fan so you don't set your smoke detectors off, like I do sometimes. So that's it. That's it. I'm going to remove it from the heat and shut the stove off. And I'm going to take it over here to my cutting board. And we're going to cut into this thing and see what it looks like. And then I am going to eat it. So we'll get rid of that noisy fan. Get myself a fork. And that's all there is to cook it. That's all there is. It's that easy. So let's come around here. And I got another camera recording this. So let's take this. Let's let it rest. You don't need to let a steak that's been sous vide rest a long time because it doesn't get hot inside. It doesn't keep cooking inside. You've charred the edges, but that's about it. And the internal temperature of the steak should still be pretty rare. So let's cut this open. And to do that, I've got one of my favorite knives, a razor sharp Damascus knife here, handmade. And I'm going to cut this open and we're going to see what this looks like. Look at that. Look at that. That is perfect. Perfect medium rare. Juicy. You don't, honest to God, you don't get a better steak than that. So I'm going to sit right down here and I'm going to eat it. Here I am. I'm going to have my dinner and I'm going to taste this. But this is absolutely gorgeous. So let's see. God, it's like butter. Unbelievable. Mm. It doesn't get any better than this. So there you have it. My absolutely favorite way to make a perfect steak every time without risking getting it overdone or ruining it. Sous vide, then sear. Nothing like it. I'm going to finish eating this. You guys take the rest of the day off and eat meat.